All right, let's dive into something that drives so many golfers, well, crazy. Casting. That feeling when the club just throws away all its angles way too early on the downswing. You lose power, you lose control. It's frustrating.
Oh, absolutely. And the first instinct, almost universally, is to blame the downswing itself. You think, I need to hold on to that lag longer.
Exactly. You focus there. But what if? What if the real problem, the root cause, isn't actually in the downswing? What if, like our sources suggest, it starts much, much earlier?
Yeah, that's the core idea we're exploring today. The sources point towards the backswing, specifically as where the seeds of casting are often sown.
So this deep dive, our mission really is to unpack that hidden cause. We want to give you actionable stuff based on what we've looked at to help you understand it and hopefully fix for good.
It's about treating the cause, not just chasing the symptom.
Precisely. It's about getting a clearer picture of the mechanics involved based on the research.
Hmm.
Once you see this, it can genuinely change how you approach improving your swing. Okay, so let's get specific. First off, just to make sure we're all on the same page, how would you define casting for everyone listening?
Sure. So casting is essentially that premature release or unhinging of the wrists during the downswing. You build up angles in the backswing, that lag we talk about, the angle between your lead arm and the club shaft, and ideally you want to maintain that deep into the downswing. Casting is when that angle disappears too early.
Right, the club head kind of flips past the hands way before impact.
Exactly. And you lose all that stored energy.
And the big surprise, the overlooked reason we're focusing on, based on the material, it's not about a failure of willpower in the downswing. It's about poor mechanics with the trail arm during the backswing.
It really is a game changer for many golfers' understanding. What happens is a lot of players incorrectly let that trail arm, the right arm, for a right-hander drop, sort of behind and below their body as they go back.
Instead of keeping width.
Yes. Instead of maintaining width and letting the arm structure work up and stay connected, more in front of the torso's rotation, they let it collapse inwards and behind.
And that specific move, that collapse, it directly messes with your wrist angles way before you even think about starting down.
It kicks off a chain reaction. If the arm structure collapses behind you, the wrists often have to unhinge early just to get the club back in a position to hit the ball. You're essentially preloading the cast.
Setting yourself up for failure, like you said. So what should that trail arm be doing then?
Well, the crucial thing to understand, and this is based on studies of better players, is that the trail arm should actually elevate relative to the torso during the backswing.
Okay, elevate relative to the torso. Now that's interesting because visually, it might look like the arms are going up anyway.
Right.
Okay.
And that's the common misunderstanding. This is where amateurs often go wrong. They might lift their hands up, but biomechanically, their trail arm is actually lowering or collapsing relative to their turning torso. It's falling behind them.
Ah, I see. So it looks high from maybe down the line, but it's actually getting narrow and tucked in behind the chest.
Precisely. It's creating a narrow, sort of stuck position behind the body. Pros tend to maintain width and elevate that trail arm away from the body as they reach the top. It stays more connected to the pivot. Amateurs often let it disconnect and fall deep behind them, losing that vital structure.
And then people try to compensate for that poor top position. Right.
Right.
They start tilting weirdly or sliding their hips too much, maybe over-rotating their shoulders, trying to find space or create power.
Exactly. All these compensations just make the downswing sequencing even harder. You're trying to fix a problem that started way back in the takeaway or backswing, but you're applying the fix much too late. It just adds layers of complexity.
It's like patching holes downstream when the leak started upstream.
A good analogy, yeah. And another piece that the research often connects to this is the grip. You can't ignore the fundamentals.
Ah, the grip. How does
Yeah.
that play in?
Well, if you grip the club too much in the palm of your lead hand, for instance, it really restricts how your wrists can move. It makes it harder to hinge properly and, consequently, harder to maintain those angles, harder to create lag naturally.
So a palm grip is sort of anti-lag.
It can definitely hinder it. A more neutral grip, maybe feeling it more in the fingers, generally allows the wrists more freedom to hinge and unhinge correctly, which is crucial for lag and release.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. The trail arm often collapses behind and below the torso in the backswing, setting up the cast. Now let's talk solutions. The sources pointed to a really practical drill, the wide arm backswing drill.
Yes, this is a great one. It directly targets that faulty trail arm movement and helps you feel the correct structure and elevation. It's quite simple to do.
Walk us through it. How does someone practice this?
Okay, first step. Take your grip, but place your hands much wider apart on the club. Think roughly shoulder width apart.
So really wide grip.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, super wide. Then, the key thing, use your body, your torso rotating, your hips turning to lift the club to the top of the backswing. Try not to use just your arms to lift it. Feel the pivot, creating the movement and maintaining that width.
So the body rotation lifts the wide arms.
Exactly. And as you do that, actively focus on keeping that trail arm feeling wide and lifted. You don't want it collapsing inwards. A really good checkpoint from a face-on view is to make sure your hands stay outside the line of your head.
Ah, okay. Don't let the hands sneak inside the head.
Correct. Keep them outside that imaginary line. Once you reach the top, feeling that width and lifted structure, then simply slide your hands together into your normal grip position.
And then swing down from there.
And then transition and swing down. It forces you to feel what proper arm structure at the top feels like.
Why does it work so well? What's the mechanism?
It works because that wide grip makes it physically much harder to improperly retract or collapse that trail arm behind you. It forces you to keep the structure, keep the width, and feel the elevation relative to your torso. This naturally helps preserve better wrist angles without you even having to think about holding lag.
You're just putting your arms in a better position to allow lag to happen.
Precisely. You're creating the right geometry. And the feedback we've seen suggests the results can be pretty immediate.
Yeah, the sources mentioned filming yourself before and after doing this drill.
Definitely. You can often see a noticeable difference straight away in how much later the club releases. Better shaft, lean at impact, just cleaner strikes. It's a powerful feedback loop.
Okay, that's a great drill.
Yeah.
What about a quick check, maybe on the course or during practice when you don't have a camera? Any cues?
Yeah, there's a classic visual cue. You hear coaches like Butch Harmon mention this kind of thing. Imagine a circle drawn around your head.
Okay, got the circle.
Now, as you make your backswing, focus on keeping your hands outside of that imaginary circle.
So my hands shouldn't invade my headspace, basically.
Exactly. If you feel or see your hands, especially that trail hand, collapsing inside that circle, moving in towards your neck or behind your head, that's your warning sign.
What does that signal?
It's a clear indicator that your trail arm is likely over-retracting, getting too deep and behind you, losing width, and that puts you right back on the path towards casting. It's a simple but effective self-check.
That makes sense. Keep the hands outside the head circle. Okay, so let's tie this all together. The main takeaway from this deep dive, if you're fighting that cast, if you just can't seem to get that good compression and shaft lean,
The fix, more often than not, isn't found by focusing harder on the downswing. You need to rewind. Look at what your trail arm is doing much earlier, from the takeaway to the top.
chances are it's drifting down, collapsing behind your torso, losing that structure.
Yeah, it's setting up that early release before you even start down, correcting that backswing structure, getting that trail arm wider and more elevated relative to the turn. That's often the key.
So it really emphasizes practicing with purpose, using drills like the wide arm one that specifically target these structural issues, not just banging balls hoping something clicks.
Absolutely. Train the movement pattern correctly. And, for those who want really precise feedback, modern tools can be incredibly helpful here.
Like 3D motion capture.
Exactly. Or even some of the AI tools mentioned in our sources, like AI golf chatbots. They can measure your exact biomechanics, pinpoint where things are going wrong, like that trail arm movement with data, and then give you very specific data-driven drills.
Takes the guesswork out, potentially.
It really can. It offers a level of detail that's hard to get just from video or feel alone.
Okay, so a final thought to leave everyone with then.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about this backswing connection,
Hmm?
how does this new understanding, this focus on the start of the problem, change how you should approach your practice? How you now kind of rewind the tape on your own swing to find those earlier triggers instead of just battling the outcome?